Tonight we have a veteran of broadcast. Those of you in the Caribbean islands, West Indies, I want you to know that this man is not new on the block. Let me introduce him. Welcome to this program, Mr. Mutubila.
Good evening, Pastor. It's a blessing, to be on Camnet, and a blessing, to be on your show. I must say you're blessed, because in my last 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only sixth, interview I am giving.
Sixth interview?
Only six. This is, I think, the sixth time I'm being interviewed.
In 15 years?
In 50 years. Yes. I'm a bit cagey, to be interviewed. To the contrary, I'm also a very private, person.
That's right.
I'm used, to interview people. So this is a blessing.
When my friend and some people heard that you are coming to join the Camnet family and to take up that role, one of them just said, you know what, Pastor Chula? Frank Mutubila is the Larry King of Zambia. No mistake about it.
I am really humbled, by that, because Larry King was a great broadcaster. I have been a fan, of other great broadcasters, like David Frost, who I used to watch when I was a young, broadcaster in England. In fact, I was at school, then. I followed the media life of the late Walter Cronkite.
I don't know them.
Yeah, but I can tell you about Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite was very famous. He stopped broadcasting when he was 80 years old. He must have interviewed, I think, maybe almost 7 presidents in America. He had a hand in stopping the Vietnam War.
Really?
Yes.
My goodness. Well, history, Mandela said, history is not made by generals.
Right.
History is not made by kings and presidents. But he said, history is made by ordinary people.
Right.
You remember, that's a speech he gave when he touched down here. And I've never forgotten.
Right.
And I must say that it's an honor. It is a blessing to have you on set. Because the respect that you command, and the Camnet TV is just blessed to have you. Today's journalists, it's out of excitement. I know we will get into that, but who is Frank Mutubila? Where were you born? Let the people know that background.
I am but a very simple son of a reverend. I was born in Luanshya 6 to 8 years ago at a hospital called Ron Hospital. My father was a reverend, one of the co-founders of United Church of Zambia. My mom was also naturally a very staunch Christian. We lived in Luanshya for about I think about 5-6 years, and then we moved to Kitwe, where my father continued his calling as a preacher man, a man who I admired a lot. He had an impact on me as early as 6 years old.
Really?
He taught me, he introduced me to the Bible when I was only 6 years old. Unfortunately, he died when I was only, I think, 9, getting to 10 years. I mean, that really was heartbreaking.
It had impact on you.
Absolutely, heartbreaking. I can tell you, that I was actually annoyed with God. Extremely annoyed. It took me almost 40 years.
Really?
To recover. And how did I recover, from this? by learning the word, I accepted that my real father is God, and human beings are simply used as a conveyor belt. That is when I accepted the death of my father. Yeah.
Must have had a tremendous impact in your life.
Absolutely.
What about mom?
Mom lived for quite a long time, and I think close to 80 years. 80 years, but I never lived with my mom. 2 weeks after my father passed on, my elder sister, the firstborn in our family, got married, to an amazing man, Mr. Muleva. He was a teacher. Later on, he went into the diplomat field. This couple, my elder sister and my brother-in-law, are the ones who brought me up for most of my life. So they were basically, my parents. But they also, passed on later on in life. My mom also, passed on. She was an amazing, woman. She's, buried here, by Leopards Hill. Most of Sundays, I just go there and just sit, stand there, and reminisce about this wonderful woman who had a very, very big heart. My mom had an incredible giving hand. She could even give things that never belonged to her.
That was amazing. Yeah. So when the owners come, what was the explanation?
She usually said, "You have got too much. You need to share with others." I remember when I was working at ZMBC, and I was staying in Mulungushi in a village. I had my own fridge, and I had a fridge belonging to Mulungushi village. I came back home one day, my fridge was gone. I asked the security people what happened to my fridge, and because the security got on very well with my mom, and they told me that she had taken the fridge. I confronted my mom, and my mom told me, "Your younger brother doesn't have a fridge." So I came and got the fridge. That was my mom.
And you never went for it?
No. I mean, I accepted the situation.
Yeah.
And I got on with life. That was my mom, an incredible, woman. I miss her a lot.
When did you go to England?
I went to England late 70s, late 80s to do my studies in media. And during that time, I started working, doing freelance work for BBC. I think I was one of the first black people to work for BBC. Definitely one of the first, in fact not maybe the first Zambian to work for BBC on freelance basis. I was working on a program called Network Africa. It was amazing, and that program went on for many years. It was being presented by a guy called Hilton File, who became a friend of mine. He was from Sierra Leone, and I learned a lot from Hilton File. Later on, Jeff Sitali joined us in England. Jeff was at drama school, and later on other Zambians started coming in. I remember Mansi Chalo also worked for BBC. Maureen Nkandu worked for BBC. So to a little extent, I opened the doors for some of the Zambians who came to work there. Yeah.
Just on that, Mr. Mutuvila, you have been in media for 50
years, yeah.
You worked with people like Fred Mando.
Charles Mando. Charles Mando was one of my best friends, perhaps one of the most talented media person I have ever come across. I used to admire a lot. The beauty is that we became very good friends, and I learned a lot, from him. But the person who really is behind my getting into the media is the late Charles Muyamwa.
Oh,
yes,
Charles.
The late Charles Muyamwa was my boss. He employed me in 1970, and I owe it, to him. And later on, I met, great people like, Charles Mando, Fred Chunga, Man Nsichalwe. Most of these have passed on.
Besa.
Yes, Harold Besa, but they came much, much earlier. We were one of the, the earliest. But from my group, a number of people have passed on, like, Manasseh Piri, Mateo Piri, great broadcasters. I must confess, I thank God, that I'm still alive. I think I'm one of the 3 people from our group who is still alive. I think I'm the only person who is practicing, right now. So whatever I do, whatever I have achieved, I carry the torch of my colleagues. I mean, can you imagine if people like Charles Manda were around today?
My goodness.
The media would have been something else. Yeah.
But let me say, I was coming to that.
Yeah.
I remember Dr. Kaunda, the late Nyerere, I think, Mwalimu Nyerere,
Yeah.
and either the Saselasi Kama, I don't know, the Botswana man.
Yes, there were people like President Machel.
Yeah, but 3 presidents from Southern Africa,
Right.
I think, took a trip to the U.S.
Right.
to go and meet President Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And they didn't meet him. They met Secretary of State.
Right.
So when they came back, I think that's the interview where I remember Charles Mando the most, how aggressive he was.
Absolutely.
In his questions.
Yeah.
Without minding, this is the president I'm talking to. Until the president said to him, Charles, remember I'm your president. Said, but does it make economical sense for 3 presidents to fly into the U.S. only to go and meet the Secretary General?
Yeah.
That interview, I said, my goodness. And at that time, I wonder if him, yourself, could have been here. I wonder where the media could have gone.
Absolutely. You see, there was mutual respect. Those days, we developed a very trusted relationship, with presidents, right? We were not irresponsible. We did a lot of research. At the same time, we were patriotic to our country. At the same time, we went out to discover, to get information on behalf of the viewers, on behalf of the listeners, so that people can make an informed decision. So that was our base, a very strong base. And that is what I always want to do, even now. If you set out to tell the truth will always set you free.
That's right.
The problem right now we have, with the young media people, first, the media is polarized, right? There's media on the right, there's media on the left, okay? Public, private. And it's very difficult to tell who is, telling the truth. It's most unfortunate that the media, some media personnel have decided to take sides, which is most unfortunate. There's, in some cases, fear for the unknown. If you tell the truth and you balance the story, you should not be afraid of anybody. You should not be afraid of anything. That, for me, really is the key, and that is what is missing.
I never thought about this. I wish I could have asked you when we were the 2 of us privately.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought of these years that God has given you? Have you ever thought of maybe establishing a Frank Mutuvila Media Academy where when boys and girls come from Illinois, from university, there is something that lacks in journalism, morals and ethics of journalism. I know they take there, but when I see some reporting going on, it leaves much to be desired. Have you ever thought of establishing an academy?
I've thought about that, but, I've been very busy, extremely busy. My plate is full with, lots of, programs. What I've done instead is to impart my knowledge with the people I'm working with. I remember when I came back from Italy, from the, my diplomatic assignment, I was fortunate to be invited by my young man in Costa to join Diamond TV as chairperson. And I worked with very young people, and I imparted my knowledge. I did a couple of programs, for them, and I put them through the ropes. I also learned from them because the media has evolved. And if you don't evolve with time, you become irrelevant, right? Right now I'm doing the same. I started a radio station called Capital FM 99.7. It's the only talk radio in the country, and we cover a lot of governance issues. I'm doing that with younger people, right? I think my time is coming soon, perhaps to establish an institution. 50 years is a long time. I may start slowing down, next year after the elections. I'm trying to build a strong team so that even when I am not there, the station can still operate efficiently. And perhaps that's the time when I think I can maybe think of facilitating an institution where I can impart knowledge to these young media people, because most of them are not properly trained. At times it's not their fault, because some of the institutions lack personnel that are experienced enough. The other reason now, because of lack of jobs, a lot of people are getting into the media, not because that is their calling. No. Because maybe that's the only available job survival, at that time. During our time, it was a calling. It was passion. I wouldn't have lasted this long, if I was not passionate about what I do. Yeah.
What you have said about the job takes me back to a man I grew up under. Yuka Godfrey Chitalo, the football man, may so rest in peace. Yeah. Ambassador Mutubila, when I was young, I grew up with that man, watching him. We were living in the neighborhood in Kabwe.
Yeah.
But when he became coach of Kabwe Warriors and national team, there was nothing like you come from Kabwe Warriors, so you'll be favored.
No.
To him, he was looking for skill.
Yeah.
He was looking for talent, and he benched a lot of players from Kabwe Warriors because he brought in people like Numamba and all those players, Watiakeni. So what I'm saying is, there is a saying in Bemba that you mushiwa bulaba kuwa fila fula.
Right.
And that's a deep saying.
Yeah.
Look at where Godfrey Chitalo and Alex Chola brought the national team, which perished in Gabon. And people like yourself, you are an asset to this nation.
I'm humbled.
So if there was a thought of establishing Frank Mutubila Media Academy somewhere, and we find land, lobby with government, they give us that land, and you put there, the name will live so that people can know that there were veterans in this nation. Like yourself, Charles Mando, may their souls rest in peace, and all that. I am a fan of old journalism. Not what is happening now, because even social media is disturbing everything. Yeah.
We were fearless. I mean, some of the interviews we did, during our time, I think it would be very, very challenging, to do them because, people would react, because like I'm saying, the country is polarized. You've seen what has been happening, cadres from political parties, virtually forcing their way into studios and unstopping, programs. And some of these interviews are really, they're nothing. But the kind of programs we used to do, they'll close us up. They'll close us up today.
Well, Camnet TV viewers, I am happy to say that I honor Ambassador Frank Mutubila. Some of you are just coming on the block now, like my son Michael, Kaluba, Chola, Mrs. Mshota, Mrs. Nyerongo, and Impundu. They would not know who Ambassador Mutubila is, and when he sits on set, they would not know what he's made of. But I'm just so delighted that tomorrow, on Tuesday at 20:45, tune in for governance issues. Every 20:45, log in and you'll be blessed. One of the last programs that shook the nation you started was eyeball to eyeball.
I did. How
many programs did you start on ZNBC?
I am blessed, right? What I have is talent from God. I'm just a medium. God just uses me. And I'm very humbled. I've done some great shows. You mentioned eyeball to eyeball, which I used to do most of the time. Like now we're leading to the elections. That lasted for quite some time. I started Kwacha Good Morning Zambia.
Oh, you started?
Right. That is my production. I think it's the longest right now. I think it's almost 40 years.
Oh, really?
Yes, still going on. That was my initiative. I think perhaps one of the biggest was Frank Talk.
Frank Talk, yeah.
Yeah, that lasted for 20 years. I was one of the initiators of Let the People Talk.
That's right.
Which has been going on for 26 years. And I've been invited, by Phoenix to present the show this Friday to commemorate the celebrations of 26 years of Phoenix. So I am presenting that show on Friday. On my radio station, Capital FM, I got a program, now called Frank on Capital. It comes on Monday. When I did some shows for Hot FM, I had Frank on Hot. So countless of programs that I've done.
Now you have Frank on Camnet.
Now I've got Frank on Camnet. This is my new journey. My new journey. Laced with God, laced with God and the Word. And really, I'm looking forward, to the program, starting tomorrow. And thanks to you, you've given me this opportunity. Doing something for God is priceless. Let me put it that way.
But I'll tell you what, I was just speaking to my friend, Pastor Francois in the Caribbean island.
Right.
I'm sure that they're also going to learn things from here.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if you get calls from the Caribbean.
Right.
Because from time to time they chip in and phone in.
I'm looking forward to that.
And it is important that people know that they are veterans in this world.
Yeah.
But apart from those programs that you have brought, maybe I should have asked this. Yeah. Who exactly, apart from Charles Muyama, who exactly influenced you or pushed you into this? Instead of going with Uncle Mutubila's vision as a reverend, take up that caller.
Yeah.
And you decided to go in media.
I'll be very honest with you. For me, I knew that I was going to be a media person. My mom wanted me to be a man of the collar, like my father, right? But I told my mom, and I think she died happily, I said, look, I don't want to take this way, because your husband, when he's preaching on Sunday, he preaches to maybe 200 people. When I'm on radio, I preach to almost 2 million people.
Absolutely.
Or more. So I said, I'm basically doing the same thing your husband was doing, my dad was doing. But my market, is much more, bigger. She really, appreciated that, and I think she died, peacefully. So for me, it is a calling. I knew how the purpose, and it's very important to have a purpose in life. I knew at an early age, because to carry genes of your parents, you have got this strong link, and I knew I was going to do something which is similar, to what my dad was doing, but mine is on a bigger platform, and I really thank God for giving me this opportunity to make a difference, to people. So many times, people have come to me and they've said, 50 years in the media and nobody has honored you. I laugh. I said, I'm not worried about that. I'm already honored by God. What makes me happy is when I meet somebody and they stop me, Frank, Ambassador, Uncle Frank, some people call me Uncle Frank. My daughter calls me Uncle Frank. And they say, the program you did yesterday impacted me positively. That, Pastor,
joy.
Is an honor, to me. I'm honored by God. For me, that's the most important thing.
But of course, I know we've said this with my wife several times. That Zambia is one country that does not honor its heroes or celebrate the people who have done so much. One of my friends told me, Pastor, Ambassador is coming to be with you. You know that man is the rally king of Zambia. And my nephew, when I was speaking to him, and he just said, Pastor, Uncle, every industry has got, what term did he use exactly? But something like it has got its principles, or people who are gurus in that. And he said, looking through Zambia, I can't see anybody who transcends Ambassador Mutubila as at now, because it's been there for years. When we were in primary school, I've worked, I've retired. The name Mutubila rings a bell. So he spoke a lot about you. And in short, I pray that Camnet TV, yourselves, ourselves, will be part of looking at this and honoring people who deserve to be honored.
I agree with you entirely, and that's very sad. You're talking about me. I'm just a simple son of a reverend. There's another son of a reverend, Dr. Kaunda.
That's right.
Yeah, is still alive. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I personally feel we haven't adequately honored this great man. We need to start embracing success in our country without taking anything away from Mandela. I think Dr. Kaunda did more than all the leaders in this region.
Absolutely.
But you see, what our colleagues in South Africa did was to market Mandela. Okay? Today, when I was interviewing Dr. Nevas Mumba, we talked about this. Why not pick maybe one of the holidays that we have in Zambia and celebrate, call it Kaunda Day, and celebrate this great son of the world. We need to start doing that. If we don't do that, we're not blessed. We're taking away our blessings. We need to celebrate people who have made a difference to this country. Even people who brought independence in this country. Some of them have died a miserable death. They've died poor. They facilitated free education. A number of people are wealthy today. A number of people are in government today is as a result of Dr. Kaunda and his colleagues. Apart from that, there are many people in various disciplines of governance who are doing great things. There are doctors at UTH, for example, who are doing complicated surgeries. We need to honor them. There are teachers out there. There are footballers. But who gets on that list during our national celebrations? A few politicians. We need to change this approach.
You know what you've said, Ambassador Mutubira? I was so amazed when I saw CNN follow Dr. Schizia, Kachinga Schizia, on CNN. Because Zambia doesn't even know that Dr. Schizia is one of the 3 endoscopic surgeons in the world. There's an American, a Ugandan, and Dr. Schizia.
There is a doctor right now, if I'm not mistaken, is Dr. Joseph Nkolola. He's based in the States. Okay? He's one of those who are pioneering the new vaccine.
Really?
Yes. I'm trying to make arrangements so that I can interview him. There are professors in a lot of countries honored by their new countries, but not their original country.
And I must look for one person. He told me there is a Dr. Msonda. He oversees over 30 scientists in New York in some scientific research. But he's Zambian.
Absolutely.
And he's been there for...
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of our great people are being taken away by other countries because other countries appreciate them more than we do. A lot of doctors, a lot of teachers here are in their professions here, not because they've been recognized in terms of conditions. No, some of the conditions are pathetic, but it's because they're patriots. How long are they going to continue doing this? The situation, the economic situation is very challenging. And a lot of these people don't need much at all.
To appreciate Ambassador Mutubira, let's look at the late President Sata. How we honored Kaunda by giving him the KK International Airport.
Absolutely.
Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, Harry Mwanga Nkumbula Airport. It's just out of gratitude to say this goes to that.
Absolutely.
I think that is an honor enough by an individual. But now we are talking about the nation. How best can we market Dr. Kaunda? I met the first Prime Minister of Antigua, Honorable V.C. Bird, after he appeared on their television with miracles. When he heard I was from Zambia, he invited with my
because of the name of Kaunda.
Yes, so when we got to his office at State House, he said, "You come from Zambia?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Kenneth Kaunda and myself are good friends. I met him in Mosotunya in 1957. Now he's talking about 57. I wasn't even born. but the name sticks out. Then he says, I have my friends like Oliver Tambo. That is 1987, when I'm in West Indies. So Kaunda's name has gone far and wide. But here is aging gracefully and nobody is paying attention to that.
Sacrificed our economy. Our people died to ensure that, this region is liberated. I mean, we should be ashamed, to be honest, that we have not honored him, adequately. You should mention Kaunda's name in this region, South Africa, Zimbabwe. He's their hero. Is he our hero? I don't know.
Even in Namibia.
Yes.
Michael went to play golf there. When I met people, I said, oh, Dr. Kaunda. So when they hear Zambia, they're thinking of Dr. Kaunda. Well, we'll get to that, Ambassador. Of the many thousands that you have interviewed, the people that you have come in contact with, who stands out in your interview? It's
very difficult. Some of the names, especially the younger people, wouldn't know them. The Commonwealth organization had the leader of that, the Secretary General, Sridhar Ramphal. You came from the West Indies.
I remember that.
Yes. I think brilliant person, to interview. Nyerere, amazing. Very, very intelligent president. Really, you have to be at your sharpest, to interview Nyerere. Of course, Dr. Kaunda.
Oh, you interviewed Nyerere?
Yes. Dr. Kaunda stands out. Dr. Kaunda made your job very easy, right? But sometimes you went on far too long. You have to find a way of interjecting here. You used to get very upset when you say, we're running out of time. And he will tell you, young man, why didn't you invite me if you didn't have enough time? So you could go on forever. Chiluba was brilliant. Chiluba was absolutely amazing. The interviewer's interviewee, very, very sharp. Mugabe, another, amazing person to interview. You had to do, your homework, to have a good, interview with, Mugabe. But it all revolves around how much research you've done to get the best, out of, some of these names I have, mentioned. I interviewed also Buthelezi, when he came here. There's so many. I've been thinking of writing a book, to put, my experiences, in a book, hopefully after the elections, and maybe I can get round, to doing, that. God has been amazing to me, to give me, this opportunity to fraternize with some of the most important, people in the world. I interviewed, Hillary Clinton.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just to think about 2 to 3 years before the elections. She came here. She was involved in some, health issues, health institutions. She opened a health center at UTH, and she was brilliant. I felt great because she had done a lot of homework, about me and my other 2 colleagues who did the interview together with me. She just walked in. I greeted her, and she said, Frank,
really?
I have heard so much about you.
Really?
I felt like I was walking on water.
My goodness. Yeah, that was an honor.
Yeah, it is. But having said that, humility is very important.
Absolutely.
I try every time to keep my feet firmly on the ground because this is a gift from God. Yeah.
Well, like I've been saying, my wife and I are blessed together with the Camnet family because this vision, Ambassador Mutubila, it started like some small fire in the bush, but the bush is right.
Yeah.
You know, it's we didn't start it when the grass was fresh.
Yeah.
We started it when it was all dry, financially and everything. But the people from Eastern, they like dry grass because that's when they kill a lot of rats.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know why you've been successful and got to where you are? This is what I tell people. Okay, and that is why I've done some great interviews for one simple reason. Okay, and I tell my colleagues this. I tell the people I work with in media. I used to tell my staff when I was ambassador, and this is very important. I told Dr. Mumba the same thing. I said, you want to succeed, do your very best, and God will do the rest.
That's right.
That is why you're here. You did everything, with your wife, with your family, with the great staff who are here. You all did your very best. And God has done the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
That's the trick.
That is right.
The trick. Yeah.
Well, Ambassador, I wish we can go on and on and on, but I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And one of which, how has been your diplomatic life? You went to Italy?
I went to Italy.
As an ambassador?
Yeah.
And when did you go there?
I went to Italy in 2012. I was appointed by the late Michael Sata. And really, I am very thankful. Why am I thankful? To be picked out of 15, 16 million or so to serve your country is a great honor. And I'm thankful to the late Michael Sata. It gave me a different dimension to my life, to work for your country, to enhance, cooperation, bilateral and multilateral relationship with these countries. I was not only an ambassador for Italy, I was responsible for Romania, I was responsible for Cyprus, I was responsible for Greece, I was responsible for Malta. And I developed a very good working relationship, whilst I was there. And when I was leaving, I was recognized as one of the best, African ambassadors. But I owe it to my staff. My staff were amazing. For me, I believe you can't be successful unless you work with the staff. We can't do this program without all these, guys, who are here. My philosophy, my strategy is this, Pastor. I operate on the basis of a chain, the chain, okay? Every little cog in that chain is important.
Absolutely.
When you remove one little chain, Pastor, the chain breaks.
Absolutely.
When one of these cameramen here goes to sleep, this program will suffer.
Absolutely.
When a cleaner doesn't clean, we're going to have problems with our health. So I tell my colleagues, every job is important.
Absolutely.
Right? My job just stands out, because my job is visible. Every single job is important. If you're going to be a cleaner, you must strive to be the best cleaner in the world. When I was in Italy, I used to emphasize with my driver, you must be the best driver. You must be the best, the most efficient driver. If you're alert to take me to FLO, to IFAD, and I'm supposed to be signing a multi-dollar, project for my country, I can lose it. So I depend on that driver. I depend on every staff who is going to input into what I'm doing. At Capital FM, I depend on everybody, on producers, on presenters. If they don't perform, I don't perform. It's the same thing about running a house. Okay? Your wife must perform. Your husband must perform. You are a team. Government, your cabinet ministers must perform. Your permanent secretaries must perform. You are in it together. Yeah.
Well, you came back. You went in 2012. And when did you come back?
Came back beginning, if I'm not mistaken, 2016.
Somebody said, once a pilot, always a pilot.
Yeah.
And I've met some people around the world. You find is an old person, they say ambassador, so. Yeah. And you ask them, they say, I served as an ambassador in Geneva 45 years ago.
Yes.
My goodness. But somebody...
We're ambassadors for life.
That's what I was taught.
We're ambassadors, for life, at least that's a great honor. So I carry that.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you would like to share with us with your family life, your wife, or, there was a time when it was all over social media about your wife, ambassadors, divorced. Was that one of the lowest moments in your life?
Yes, indeed. And sometimes I've been blamed for talking too much about this, but I find it, a healing situation.
Absolutely.
When I talk about it. My divorce was, in the paper. I married, a wonderful lady, from my own profession. So we were all personalities. And unfortunately, that's the price we paid. It was very difficult to do this in camera because the way the law is in our country is that all the information you can go and get from the registrar's office at the court. Unfortunately, it was played in the press. It hurt so much. I must confess, it's not something that I can wish it on anybody at all, including divorce. Okay, it's very painful if you don't handle it properly, and I don't think we handled it, properly. We made mistakes. We could have done, much better, but I decided, how can I heal? First and foremost, it affected my children. My children are adults. My firstborn lives in England. He's 44 years old. He writes poetry. He's an amazing guy. My secondborn lives in Philadelphia. He's 35. My lastborn, Mubanga, is here, married with 4 children, an amazing girl who calls me Uncle Frank. We've done programs together. So I think they were more hurt than me. Okay. What I decided to do a program called Art of Marriage, where I was bringing couples that have been successful, couples that have gone through challenging times. So that helped me, a lot. I did about 36, programs of that. Yeah, it was my lowest, and for a son of a reverend to fail at marriage, it's not good. But having said that, even though I failed at marriage, if you can make it work, it's an incredible institution. Pastor, you're saying to yourself, I am marrying this person who is not my relative. That is a challenge in itself. You need a lot of ingredients to make it work. One of them is communication. And I'm from communication. Unfortunately, maybe I failed in that area. But the biggest if you want marriage to succeed, is you must all be God-fearing. And you must strive, whenever you have time on a Sunday or during the week, to pray together with your partner. I failed twice. Okay, I'm not embarrassed. You know, the most important thing is, what do I learn from my failures? Okay, my first wife, we divorced really in a nice way, amicably, because I think we're young. We're living in England, and then she stayed over in England to work, and we divorced in a very wonderful manner. She's still my great friend. I think we talk almost every day. My second wife, it was a bit difficult, you know, because of what transpired, but I'm reaching out so that we can at least, you know, be friends. You know, though we divorced, I think we had some great times together, and I don't think it's nice, you know, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian. You know, one of the words which really we don't want to use as Christians is hate. You know, where there's no point. So yeah, you know, but I've recovered. I've recovered, and I'm using my experience to help, you know, other people. Family values are very critical. As you know, personal values in this country now are eroded, which is unfortunate. We must go back and face God.
So having been through that,
Yeah.
you do not encourage anybody to divorce, right? For any reason.
I think the Bible is very clear. The Bible is very clear. Unless really, you know, it's life or death, for lack of a better way of putting it. Okay? Strive to make it work. Unless you exhaust all the channels, you know, then you can say, you know what? And then you turn to God and say, God, we have tried our best. Unfortunately, we failed. And talking about marriage, I think what is important, Pastor, is to try and know as much as possible about the person you've decided to live with for the rest of your life. What is the background? What are the strengths of this person? What are the weaknesses? And don't belabor on the weaknesses. Try and belabor on the strength. The strengths will take care of the weaknesses.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we spend a lot of time pointing fingers at ourselves, at our weaknesses, forgetting some great things that we shared. I divorced twice. There's some great things, some amazing moments, you know, that, you know, we had together. And it's important that we spend time together as couples. A lot of couples don't spend a lot of, you know, time together.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially Sunday, Pastor, when you come from church together, go to a restaurant if you've got money. If you don't have money, I think cook. And the man should cook, Pastor, on a Sunday. Don't let your wife spend most of the time in the kitchen. They work very hard. They're wonderful people. Give them time to rest.
So now, Mr. Mutubila, are you getting at me because I don't know how to cook?
No,
what are you saying?
You have to learn, Pastor. It's never late. Can you imagine how nice it is? Mr. Chiluba sees you in kitchen and you're wearing, you know, whatever, you know, kitchen stuff, and you're cooking.
And this is where you are now talking about looking at the strength.
Yes.
You know, from the firstborn to fifthborn, I'm the lastborn in my mother's family. They all know how to cook, how to cut a chicken, how to... But when I was born and growing up as a lastborn, Mama never allowed me to cook. She would say, "Ndekeleni kasuri wanti." Whatever, kasuri. So there are few things that I know how to cook. But guess what? The Lord brought a lady, in your words, an amazing woman in my life. Miss Amutubila, tomorrow she's turning, it's her birthday.
Oh,
she's turning 59.
Fantastic. Well done.
And of those 59 years, I have lived with that lady in marriage for 35 years.
Okay.
Plus the 2 years of courtship.
So how are you spending the day?
How are we spending the day? No, if I
Is it a secret?
Yeah, a little bit. Because
please buy her flowers. I am telling all the men watching this program, that you must learn to buy flowers for these ladies. It's very, very important. And make it a habit. Not only on an occasion like birthday. Once in a while, just surprise them, just buy flowers. Flowers are not very expensive. We spend a lot of time on food, wines, and things like that. They deserve flowers. After all, they're called flowers.
Absolutely. Because this is a public media, but my wife and I are very grateful.
I've seen you together most of the times.
Next year, Miss Amutubila, she'll be turning 60.
Fantastic.
Next year.
That's good.
She'll be turning 60.
Oh, wonderful.
I turned 60 last year.
Yeah.
And it will be wonderful to see my wife turn 60 also.
Yeah.
Next year. And I'm looking forward
that's fantastic.
to be there.
Fantastic.
But what you are saying is that it is very important to appreciate our spouses, because had I not married this young girl, Victoria, she's 59, but she's younger to me.
Yeah.
Had I not married that one, she's got amazing grace.
Brilliant.
Talented things, and what which I can say here. And she keeps on teaching me, I must say. When I say I don't know how to cook, I cook once in a while. Yeah. And my children are the one who said, Daddy, when are we going to eat a chicken fried by you, cut by you? I say, when your mother teaches me how to cook.
But the most important thing is you play a major role. You bless the food.
No, I am so grateful to God. Let's go back to this, Mr. Mutubila. I am so grateful that you started a radio station, which is helping people around. What is the reach? How far does it go?
Well, the frequency 99.7 is the Lusaka frequency, but we go beyond Lusaka because we are online. Yeah, we are online. People get us on Facebook. I mean, the people have called my shows, as far as Canada, as far as the States, and we've applied now to go on DSTV, so that our reach, is
can be enhanced.
Yeah, can be enhanced. And in the new year, perhaps we should be able to get maybe extra frequencies, but we're also looking at technology. Technology has advanced.
Absolutely.
We've just, we're thinking of buying equipment which can connect us to even as many as 50 radio stations. So we can syndicate, our programs. So, we're evolving. We are very excited, because our programs mostly are on governance, different disciplines, and we use experts. And I'm very thankful, to my good friends, who are working with me, experts. Some of them, we don't even pay them. They just want to offer a service so that we share, their knowledge. And I'm really touched, by the response from this.
And talking about governance issues, Mr. Mutubila, using this platform, Camnet TV, Capital FM, and other platforms, do you think it is possible for us to help the nation of Zambia, to develop economically? You lived in France, you lived in UK, you visited a lot of European countries. Is it impossible for us to attain the status of Europe and what in terms of infrastructure and the economical muscle? Is it difficult?
It's not difficult. Let me tell you this. We were talking about experts, okay, that are brought and who are here, and I'm using a lot of experts, okay. I go back to what I was saying. You must operate as a team. Okay, you must reach out. You know what? The quality I don't have, I can get it from somebody else. We must work together. And it's possible. I mean, how do we contribute to economic growth? By sharing the information with people who can add value to economic development, to the development of other disciplines. It's very, very important to work together. Okay, we're fragmented in this country. We're not working together as Zambians. We have become divided. How are small countries like Rwanda are making so many strides? Because they are using people who are knowledgeable. Okay, I know quite a bit about Rwanda, because when I was in Italy, a friend of mine, Kalungu Banda, he's based in England. He also worked here. He was attached to Levi Mwanawasa's government, from UK. He's based in UK. He was attached to the government of Kagame, okay? And he told me great stories how Rwanda has made strides, okay? For a start, Kagame has put together an incredible team, okay, of knowledgeable people. And then the way Kagame works, according to Kalungu Banda, is every morning, sometimes as early as 5 in the morning, Kagame asks the Prime Minister, can you give me 20 crucial priority items you want my office to deal with? 20. In return, the Prime Minister gives the President 40 critical items. They do a checklist. When they are finishing work at about midnight, they go through that checklist to see what they've achieved. If they've achieved all the 40, then they go to bed with 3 items each. Those are the 6 they start with in the morning. Every quarter, they run the country is run like a corporate company. Every quarter, they review the performance. If your ministry has done badly, either the people responsible for the failures are fired. In some cases, they're even taken to court.
Really?
Yes. They're serious, and there's discipline. Over and above that, there's also another team of eminent people in Africa, brilliant brains. I think Moyo, Dambisa Moyo?
Dambisa Moyo, yes. She's a Zambian.
Yes.
Based in the States.
She was on that committee of eminent people. They review again what has been presented by a local team that has reviewed that. That is management. To review your work. And everybody is serious. Everybody is responsible. That is the way to operate. Everybody is answerable. Okay? There's minimal waste. And Rwanda doesn't have the kind of natural resources that we have.
But you think we can develop?
We can.
And we'll get there.
We can if we learn to work together. If we start seeing ourselves beyond tribal lines, okay? Beyond certain sections, and we start operating as one. I'll give you a typical example, because I used to play football, right? When you play football, let me give you an example of the team that I love very much, Manchester United. There are 2 players who were superb. Andy Cole was playing up front with another player called Sheringham. They hated each other. Okay?
Oh, they did?
They hated each other big time. But when they're on the field, they'll pass the ball to each other. They'll play for each other.
And hug each other?
Yes, because they were playing for one common cause. When they leave the playing field, they go their different ways.
Really?
Even here, even if you don't see eye to eye with each other, learn to work for the cause of your country.
My goodness. That's a great example you've given.
Yeah.
For the sake of the country.
Of the country.
Even the opposition and the ruling party?
Yes.
Though you can't see eye to eye?
If the ruling party does something great, pat the president on the back, pat the government on the back, vice versa. If the opposition does something good, pat them on the back. We must start, working together, bipartisan. Okay? That works a lot most of the time in developed countries for the common cause of the country.
That said, Mr. Mutubila, how do you view these coming elections in August? What are your thoughts about the elections?
It is a very significant time for Zambia. It's time for soul searching. Where have we come from? Why are we here? How can we get out of this mess? Who can do a better job? Okay? I'm not campaigning for anybody. Okay? We need to review ourselves. Review the performance of the government. Look critically at all the political parties. Look at individuals. Okay? What are the record of these individuals? Okay? How do they run their homes? If they don't run their homes properly, they won't run a government. Okay? What are the critical issues? Right now, the critical issue is the economy. Okay? People have been suffering. The levels of poverty are high. How do we get out of this mess? In fact, for me, before this election, we should have had a huge endeavor to discuss the economy. Okay?
When you say huge endeavor, with who?
Everybody. All the political representatives from all the political parties, from economic institutions, from civil society. Okay? The economy is a national issue. Discuss it. Okay? Back to the elections. Okay? It's important, that the play field is even. Let opposition, let all political parties have access to the media. So that they can explain to the people, so that the people can make
what their mandate
is. Can make an informed decision. Okay? To the political parties, I'm afraid you're not spending a lot of time discussing crucial issues like the economy. People want to hear, how are we going to get out of this date? How are we going to get out from the poverty trap? These are the issues people want to hear. How are we going to deal with gender violence? How are we, going
to empower the Zambians?
Empower the Zambians. Okay, not empower PF, not empower UPND, DP, whatever. Empower the Zambians. Okay, it's Zambia that should be our unifying factor, and there must be unity. Can we forget about this violence? If we sit together with the PF, MMD, whatever in church. Why shouldn't we do it away from church?
My goodness.
What is the problem?
The other thing, Ambassador, what gets on my mind, I think the cadres have gone out of hand. The word cadre is irritating me, both from the ruling party and the opposition. It's like they are another government. Making their own laws. You find them, especially when they are on the street, the traffic officers are powerless. They can't do anything. This way, the cadre. I don't know how the leaders in all political parties can start to tame those animalish behavior.
They've been given a lot of power. And when you give somebody a lot of power, right? They either use it properly, or in this case, they use it irresponsibly.
And abuse.
Okay? Yes. All the political leaders, it only takes the presidents of these political parties to say stop, and they'll stop. You know, tell the security forces that I want you to enforce discipline. They will do it. I'm afraid this is not happening at all. And if this is not handled properly, we can have serious repercussions during the election time. I really hope that doesn't happen. Again, if I had a way, Pastor, I would want all the political leaders to start meeting regularly, as a run-up to the elections, so that we come out of this election, as one, so that if you lose, Pastor, you have lost fairly. But as it is right now, people have already started talking about, I don't think the election is going to be free and fair. I heard President Kalaba the other day saying he fears that the election is going to be bloody. No. We've been a peaceful country for a long time.
Absolutely.
We should not let peace elude us. The repercussions are terrible. Really terrible. We should not go that way. Yeah. And us in the media, we should play a role.
But I go back to your profession.
Yeah.
You see, during your time, Dr. Kaunda was running against nobody, really. But you were at the same time in the opposition, because you'd bring questions that would make Dr. Kaunda sit upright, that kind of thing. When nobody could speak, you'd speak. Now, I'm saying, now the media, you find even the reporters, some belong to PF, some belong to UPND, some, there is no professionalism.
No, absolutely.
It is who makes the thickest porridge.
It's gone out of the window, Pastor. You know what happens in some media institutions? Politicians have actually identified their favorite reporters. They'll pick them up in their own vehicles. If you do that, there's no way you can report him impartially. It's virtually impossible. How can a person who you're covering is the one who is providing you with transport?
And feeding you.
And feeding you. How can you? There are reporters who have gone to an event. If they're not fed, they won't cover the story.
Really?
Yeah. It's that bad.
And some are paid.
Yeah, and some are paid. Okay? There are a few, but very few. The media is polarized, unfortunately. It's polarized. It's very difficult right now to know who is telling the truth. Some people now switch off certain media outlets. And they listen to BBC. They listen to CNN. Who is the greatest loser? Zambia. Yeah.
Oh, Jehovah.
Yeah, you must look. In a democratic country, you must accept diverse positions. We can't all think the same. It's virtually impossible. Okay? Then you won't learn. Okay? You must appreciate that we cannot have the same position. But the role of the media is to cover both sides. You must balance. This is not being done at all. Yeah.
By the special grace of God, Ambassador Mutubila, my wife and I, being pastors, we pastor people from all political parties.
Yeah.
And from the Kaunda time, I never don't like issuing statements against or for because of being a pastor. But at the same time, my wife and I believe that there has to be sanity, there has to be discipline, there has to be dignity. Camnet TV is trying, Ambassador Mutubila, to cover everyone without favor, without partiality. But what I do not allow, I've clipped some of the clips they report and I see there is some derogatory messages, I say this won't fly, you know, that kind of thing. I don't have to wait for the government to come and question me or for the opposition to say, no, no, no. Once I see, even with my wife, we sit down together as a team and say, this can't. Because if I'm going to talk about you, you are not on Camnet, you are in Nakonde, then I'm talking rubbish about you, you are defenseless. And I'm at an advantage. So I never allow people to say rubbish about somebody who can't defend themselves. So I think so far so good.
That's good.
We are not perfect, but my wife and I are trying to walk that path of integrity and morality.
Let me say this. You know, I keep on saying, you know, the way we run institutions, it's the same way, it's the same experience we have in our homes. I'm sure sometimes you have different positions with your wife.
Absolutely.
Okay? But at the end of the day, sometimes you agree to disagree. But you give each other an opportunity to be heard. So what I'm saying is, let the Zambian people hear all the sides and let them make the final decision. After all, politicians are supposed to be the servants of the people.
Absolutely.
Not the way it is now, where it seemingly looks like the bosses or the public have been captured. No, I mean, there has to be humility among political parties and their leaders and their members.
Ambassador Mutumila, tomorrow you are starting a show, Frank on Camnet. And we are so grateful. My wife, of course, said thank you for your joining this family. And we appreciate it. Tell us about the show. Before we open the lines for people to ask some questions also.
This show, like we have been, you know, discussing, it will cover different facets of governance. It will cover, you know, different newsmakers. We'll balance, you know, whoever comes on the show, they'll be representative. They'll come from different institutions. At the end of the day, like I keep on saying, we want to help people to make an informed, you know, decision. I believe one thing, perhaps it's my experience and the way I was taught. I don't put in my opinion in anything I do.
Really?
At all. I let my subject speak. My role is to give a platform to my subject. I probe that person, and that's what we'll be doing. That is my role, just to probe, so that I can get information, valid information, information that is going to help people make an informed decision. My bosses are the viewers. Okay, I want to help the viewers get as much information from my subject. So we'll cover a lot of governance issues, not just politics, social issues, economic issues. You know, people from the Christian fraternity who do success stories. People who made a difference. So it is a show for every. It's a mixed grill.
All inclusive.
All inclusive. And I'm very excited about it. You know, this is another new chapter. You know, and why was I excited? You know, to do something for Camnet, because this is a Christian medium. Okay, for me, it's yet another calling. You know, from God. Come and use the talent I gave you, my son, so that you can share it with others. I'm excited about it.
I am so grateful that, like you said, Uncle Mutuvila and Auntie had a lot of impact. You never depart from God. You are human. You have made a lot of mistakes, like supporting Manchester United. But
do you know, when you talk about Man United. I can talk about this now. You know, when my last marriage, I changed the date of wedding without my wife knowing, and we married on a Thursday on Christmas Eve, and she thought, and everybody thought, wow, this is fantastic. It's a new thing, marrying during the week, and it's a Christmas Eve. It's because the Saturday, which we would have got married, there was a game of Manchester United. Nothing comes in between me and Man United except God, of course. Except God, of course. Yeah, but it's difficult.
Now I know, and the background is that at one time, Man U played my team, Barcelona.
Yes.
And we did a very good job.
I remember the game you're talking about. In fact, I was in England, and I saw Ferguson for the first time shaking.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
They showed him going like this.
Yes, you know, and no, you taught us one or two things. We're not doing as well. We have not done well since Ferguson left. But
it's coming up.
Slowly, you know, to be honest, I have no, what can I say? No, respect is too much of a big word. I don't have confidence in the current manager. You know, I don't think he's got experience. You know, because Man United is big. It's an institution.
But I always see Ferguson watching.
Yes, he watches.
Whenever he's playing.
Look, when you love football, like I do, I mean, it's virtually impossible to divorce yourself from football. I have been at Old Trafford 5 times. The last time when I was an ambassador, I even addressed, you know, the fans. It was fantastic. It's like going to Mecca, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's a shrine. Especially before COVID, Pastor. 15, 20 minutes before the game, 75,000 get into the stadium.
75,000?
Yes. 15, 20 minutes after the game, the stadium is empty.
No.
I'm telling you. It's just amazing. Amazing. But now, I'll tell you this, we can share this. You know, I used to do silly things, and my doctor, you know, Dr. Goma, told me, you're going to die. When Manchester United lose, those days, in a couple of years, during Ferguson, straight in St. John's Hospital, on the drip, 24 hours.
Even the time when they lost to Barcelona, I'm told you were affected.
Yes, I was affected. In fact, I couldn't travel from...
Your BP shot
I couldn't travel from London. I had the BP. But now I'm trying to calm down.
Yeah.
If we're playing against Manchester United, who are Manchester City, who are our enemies, Liverpool, I watch alone because I become very emotional. So I lock myself. If we lose, I switch off the phone and I sleep. I don't eat when United lose.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, dear Camnet TV viewers, I'm in the studio with Ambassador Frank Mutubila. Tomorrow at 20:45, tune in for his first live broadcast, Frank on Camnet, and he will give you the opportunity for you to call him and the guests. In the meantime, we will take a break, and you can also make your phone calls and contribute, ask Ambassador any question, and he will be there for you. Keep watching Camnet TV. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Chanda the proud Zambian. There's no doubt that I love this country. One Zambia, one nation. God bless Zambia. shama Zambia twalichula namwebele wila sakamana pantu Zambia chalo chesu tapalinga chiwanya kano fuebele no mafueni bose from the north to the south east to the west mulungu watu aliko let's join our hands together and build our nation tiende pamoja ni mtima umoja for a better tomorrow united we stand divided we fall don't worry Muzambia from the north to the south east to the west mulungu watu aliko let's join our hands together and build our nation tiende pamoja ni mtima umoja for a better moneni etyolesa tupela impanga umutendene chitemwiko imimana shabangwe imitinganishena shakufirwafye natwikatane bose tuwane chalo chesu lesalasuka from the north to the south east to the west mulungu watu aliko let's join our hands together and build our nation tiende pamoja ni mtima umoja for a better tomorrow united we stand divided we fall don't worry Muzambia from the north to the south east to the west mulungu watu aliko let's join our hands together and build our nation tiende pamoja ni mtima umoja for a better tomorrow.
Now listen, unity is the backbone of developing a nation. Hence shall we in one accord gather, from they that dwell in the lake-rich areas of the province in the north, along the shores of the Luangwa, down to the inhabitants of the shores of the waters in the province of the south, not forgetting they that dwell along the inflammations of the face of our mother Zambia, and the province from which the sun announces its awakening, the province to the east, to they that gaze at the eye-catching sight of the departure of the sun, as it takes its leave, they that dwell on the plains, they of the province of the west. May we in one accord put our hands together to better our nation for our future generations. Our background in the past, our walks of life, linked as one, all professional pride laid aside, whether accountant, administrator, human resource personnel, environmental health officer, lawyers, farmers, teachers, doctors, pharmacists, biomedical officers, nurses, engineers, sportsmen, IT specialists, and all other disciplines, shall we in one spirit be united for a common good. October 18th, an opportunity at hand to change our nation for the best via prayer to He who holds our very lives in His hand. I am imbued with the pride of a Zambian. I believe God can heal our land. For if we believe together, we can carry on the motto, that which they that struggled for freedom, we daily bathe in, carried on. Tiende pamozi, ndi mtima umozi.
Camnet TV viewers, you are most welcome. I am your pastor, Pastor Moses Chiluba. I'm so honored, like you, if you began with us when this interview began, the national matters. Ambassador Mutubila says, since he has been in media for the past 50 years, he's been interviewed by 6 people. It's not a mistake. I'm the 6th, and I'm the 6th born in the family. So it's not coincidence. It's a blessing and an honor. Our lines are now open. Feel free to ask any question that probably I could not have asked, and he will be there to answer the question. And Ambassador, we have the foreign media influencing Africa, the way we think, the way we talk, and the reports that come from CNN, BBC, are the actual true reports than us. One of the things that my wife and I have is that one day Camnet TV will be shoulder to shoulder with these big network news providers. Is it possible for African media to influence the West?
Of course it is. We have to find a way of covering positive stories. Okay? We have a lot of positive stories in Africa, indeed in Zambia. The problem with the foreign media is they love covering negative stories. To them, that is what sells, makes news, unfortunately. If you look at the death of President Magufuli, for example, he did great things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but all they're concentrating on is his, COVID, his controversial views.
Attitude towards COVID.
Yeah, COVID. That is the news.
Reviews the vaccine. And
absolutely, that is what they've picked out. So there's need to ensure that our stations network, they get into Europe, they get into the States. That the Nigerian media is very strong.
Let's pick up this call, Ambassador. Then, hello, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm permanently blessed. We are blessed. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Lucky Vende. The former president of one country of Zambia. Now the advisor of the nation.
Advisor to?
To the nation.
To the nation. Lucky Vende.
Yes.
At one time my church member.
You are my dad.
Go ahead and contribute, Lucky.
Well, thank you so much. I just want to thank somebody
Yes.
For the development that we've seen consistently. We have seen a consistent trajectory into growth in terms of programming, in terms of balance between news coverage, and now the addition of the elder of the land, the ambassador of Syria. I feel that it will go a long way to consolidate and to cement or to bring Camnet TV into another level. I'm really very excited to see this package that has happened. Yes, and we want to say that Camnet TV is indeed not in our channel because there's a lot of light that we get whenever we Camnet TV. We consistently switch from CNN, CNN, or the whenever you want to cool off your heart, you switch to Camnet TV. With the ambassador coming on there, the wisdom that is coming from him is unspeakable, unimaginable. What an asset to the nation. Thank you so much. I congratulate you to overall the nation. We are very grateful. The ambassador locally. And I'm sure, I don't know how the values and ethics of TV programming is. If it was possible, I would have wished that this activity is run on other media organizations so that they do a pointer that people can teach us to come to TV and watch the program by the ambassador.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lakibene, and he's thanking you for your wisdom, for your tenacity, being in the media for so many years. And 50 years.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It's not easy, Pastor. But what is important is to ask yourself, what is my purpose? What is my calling? Okay? A lot of people go into the media because they want to be superstars. Humility is very important.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I'm the first person to appreciate, the team I work with. I'm the first person to appreciate, that there are people out there who help me, who help shape me. Some of them I get information, from, most of the time when I do my programs, I do a lot of research. I talk to some of my colleagues who I feel are better than me. It's very, very important. That is the only way you can become, a good communicator. You have to rely on other people. Yes, of course, you've got to do a lot of research yourself. But you have to look at even some of the people. We talked about some of the broadcasters who have influenced, me. Okay? I've learned a lot from a lot of these people. Okay? But the most important thing is be yourself. Don't be a copy. A copy will always be a copy. But you can learn from others without being like the other person. Okay? Retain your own style. That is very important. And humility.
But it also feels good. I remember when Dennis Liwewe used to be in the commentary box. Almost everyone who came there, they wanted to just speak like Dennis. And I know that also you have got disciples around the country and around the world who, when they speak, you can see Frankie Mutubira. You should thank the Lord for that because of the influence you are impacting.
Yes, I do. I've influenced a lot of people, but I keep on telling them, try and cultivate, your own, style. You talked about, Dennis Lewer. What a great man.
Oh,
He was doing radio commentary.
Oh, there is somebody calling.
All right, you can.
Hello?
Yes, good.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, Dr. Morgan, Dr. Morgan within Lusaka.
Mr. Morgan within Lusaka.
Yeah.
Please talk to the nation. You are saying? Oh, Morgan, sorry that you've...
He was basically repeating what I've been saying, the importance of being impartial.
That's right.
The importance of covering, both, sides. I remember, when MMD came into power, and I was very close to President Chiluba, like I've been close to all the presidents. President Chiluba would call me when I was director of programs, and you'll emphasize to me, I don't want you to cover only MMD, cover even the opposition, because we were also covered before. But he would jokingly tell me, but give us a little bit more, because we the government, that funds you, but cover everybody. And he would tell me, and the other reason why I want you to cover even the opposition, we want to find out their strategies
and their strengths,
their
weaknesses.
Absolutely, and we did that. It's very healthy. You can't stifle, people. I've never known a country that has developed on the basis of stifling, people. It may work for a short period, but in the long run, it won't work. People will get tired and just say, no, I don't think we're being fed with the right information. Yeah.
Well, leadership is an art. Leadership is a gift. And I remember my wife and I, at one time, Mr. Mutubila, we had more losses on board than any other tribe. So when I make a decision which is not in the favor of leadership, they go into losses. And I'm looking at this one, and this one, keep on pastor, and they go there. I'm totally lost. But their criticisms have, and I thank them, they've helped me to be where I am.
Absolutely.
Even in leadership, people that do not flow with my agenda, you find that they help you.
Absolutely.
And my college principal used to say, in every criticism, look for the grain of truth. In every criticism, look for the grain of truth.
The most important thing is, like in my job, I have developed. I understand there's a caller. I'll get back.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, man of God. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, you're talking to your son from Sokolet, Gilbert Chanda.
Who?
Dr. Chanda.
Gilbert Chanda.
Gilbert.
Chanda from Sokolet.
Please go ahead and speak to the nation. I'm with Ambassador Mutubila here.
I want to appreciate it has been actually long to see the Mr. Mutubila after a long time. Yeah, man of God, first and foremost, I want to say this is the doing of God.
Yes, sir.
Actually, to involve people like Mutubila.
Yes.
Into the national matters. The parliament let the nation know. God should be involved.
Absolutely.
We don't need to be self-centered. Actually, the program that you want to involve in this is a very important program whereby every people should actually take keen interest to hear and listen attentively. More especially like in focus we are going to your watching. I want to say, may God help us. We are all Zambians. There is no one who is not a Zambian. Also, and the who are we to judge? There's so many one Shiva. Who are we to say no? Man of God,
Thank you.
Mtubira. May God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Lero mwapo kwa chitamente mkulana na kuchara. May God grant you the wisdom. I know God has actually granted you the wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chanda
As
from Solwezi.
I was saying, Pastor, this message I'm addressing to my fellow media people and leaders at every stage. When you are in a position where you are interacting or where you have got the responsibility with the public, you are at the mercy of the public. Okay? You must accept criticism. Sometimes it pains. Okay? When I was a young broadcaster, it used to pain me when I'm criticized. But over the years, I told myself, this is the job that I chose as a media person. I must accept with all the good and bad that go, with
the
this
job.
Subsequently, I developed the art of knowing when I've done something good and when I have not performed to the highest standards.
Absolutely.
I became my own critique. I'll know when I've done a good job and when I've done a bad job. I developed that. I also developed a thick skin. Okay? So I respect people's views. Okay? There's a phrase that says somebody's meat is somebody's poison. In this job that we do, you don't expect everybody to pat you on the back. There are some people who just hate you naturally. I mean, they won't even wait for you
To utter a word.
No, they just hate you.
Yeah.
Okay? The same thing with people in leadership. Okay? Not every time they're going to love what you're doing. Okay, you must accept there'll be bad and good days, in the position that you hold.
You being a son of a reverend, you have defined it very well because Jesus said, woe to you when all men speak well of you.
Yeah.
That does not mean that they can't speak well of you.
Yeah.
Even me as a pastor, there are those who love me, who love my wife, and there are those who, when they just hear Chiluba, they feel like breaking the TV. So
I mean, for me in this job, in your job, maybe it's even slightly easier. I am on the telly most of the time, so I develop a make-believe relationship with the viewers. The viewer thinks they know me very well. When in the actual fact, they don't know me. The person you see on TV most of the time is totally different from me. Sometimes I'll just be acting there. So you will just know the actor and not the real person. But you have to accept that. That some people start believing, I know that man very well, in fact. But when they don't even know you, that well. But you have to accept, this is the price we pay. There's some great things, that go with my being a personality. And there's some very bad, things. I mean, I'm a public figure. I mean, I'm criticized at times. Like I was just telling you, when my children read some of the stuff, it's terrible. But you have to accept, that situation.
You see, my prayer, Ambassador Mutwila, is that with your presence at Kamna TV, I look forward to look at your experience. I look in South Africa, I see Tom Disa. A man of enormous influence. In Kenya, there is one man there. I've forgotten his name. I wish my wife was nearby here. And Zambia has got a blessing. in your abundance of wealth that you have in the media. This is why I asked, can Africa influence the Western way of thinking?
We can.
I look forward at one time where CNN will say, we got this from Camnet TV and report it to the world. That's how my mind thinks.
We can. We need to work together. Okay, I'll give an example of COVID. Okay, this is the time. In fact, I expected AU to meet and discuss how can we now start, promoting our own scientists, in Africa to work together. We start coming up with their own vaccines, and as Africans, than to rely on, on
Johnson and Johnson and all those manufacturers there. When Africa can produce
otherwise,
its own.
perpetually will be at the mercy, of foreigners. There's some brilliant people in Africa. We need to start, working, together as Africans at all levels.
Let's pick up this call. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name, sir, and where you calling us from? Hello.
William Musonda.
William Musonda. Nabalande Mukwai. From where?
From Luansha.
From Luansha. Nabalande Mukwai. Amen.
Amen. Well, Franklin, the part of the name of Pansha, William Musonda, Road 90.
Yes.
Postal Kabule, Navazato, Sika, Norusa, La Frankina, Abatista, and Bonsa. No, Rupa, Pasta, Wotana, the Shivano, like a Pansha. But Nadia said, why have we sat? Nadia, why did we tell him on my own this club? I'm sure for technical really from the Namu Shatu Plana, our marriage on the
Ramusonda Mudilupalande Nitumfefe to Mulelanda to the nation. Hello, Ramusonda. Oh, it's cut.
We've lost him. Yes, I remember him.
You remember him, yeah.
I remember him very well. He was close to my mom, I think we lived in the same section as Section 2. I remember the house, number 69.
You still remember all those details?
Yes, Section 2, number 69, next to a club called Ron Social, near the hospital.
Really?
Yes. I can win the elections there. But it's just that I don't want.
I like that.
I've got my...
you should go back since you have a grade 12 certificate.
I am assigned by God, to do this job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apart from influencing the foreign world, Mr. Mutubila, you mentioned something about Dr. Kaunda, that we haven't marketed that man.
No.
Through your wisdom, through your program, can we market not only Dr. Kaunda, but we market Zambia?
Yes, we can.
The way it's supposed to be?
Yes, we can. The problem is that, Zambians are not very good, at history. We're not very good at reading. The reading culture is very bad. We need, to go back to the basics, and maybe for some of us it's late. We must ensure that we teach good history in schools about, for example, about the liberation movement. What happened, who were the contributors, what did they do, all those things. I'm not so sure that, it's done, right now. Our children, our grandchildren, younger generation must be taught about the history of this great in a country.
Absolutely. Mr. Director, please give us the advert for Ambassador Mutubila, and after that, give us the messages that have come on the text before we wind up, and we are very grateful to all of you. May God bless you.
I'm Ambassador Frank Mutobila. My 50 years journey in the media has now taken me to Camnet Television. I'm very excited to join this amazing inner family. The importance of governance issues cannot be overemphasized. Every Tuesday at 20:45, I'll be going under the skin of a governance issue with my guest. I'll be interrogating the guest so that you can make an informed decision. I'll be coming on every Tuesday at 20:45 with Frank on Camnet.
Well, yeah, there you have it, dear Camnet TV viewers. Tomorrow at 20:45, tune in to Ambassador Mutobila on governance issues. Every Tuesday at 20:45, my wife and I have moved from Partnership of Greatness on Tuesday. Ambassador Mutobila is there on permanent basis. We are so grateful. Mr. Director, please give us the text messages so that we can read them. And Pastor Chuba, I'm very grateful for bringing such a fountain of knowledge in Ambassador Frank Mutobila. We will enjoy the show. Thanks. Sobaula in Choma. May God bless you. Thank you so much for these kind words. And what's that now? Achievements made by various professionals that have excelled in their fields like Ambassador Mutobila. Such individuals have wealth of expertise and knowledge that can benefit the country immensely. It is time to reward and acknowledge people when they are still alive. Thank you for your service, Ambassador, and may God continue to richly bless you. This is from Luambas. And the Luambas, they are the ones in the United States, in New York.
Excellent.
Saying that you need to be rewarded.
Excellent, excellent.
Hi, Pastor and the Ambassador. We are blessed with the discussion. Just praying that the program you are about to start will lead Zambia to prosperity. Collins, this is in Kanyama, Lusaka. Thank you so much, Collins. And may God bless Camnet TV viewers. Thank you for the program. May God continue blessing you, Frank Mutobila. May God bless you. Thank you for that. Thanks a lot, Camnet TV, for reaching out to everyone. May the good Lord richly bless you, Pastor C. This is Signet Namusa from Kafue. Signet, we are very grateful. And all of you Camnet TV viewers, good evening. We are glad to see the old media celebrity and legend. I am reminded of Peter Mwemba, Timi Mvula, Constance Chisonta, Sase Sarah, etc. By the way, we need the veteran women in media to come on board, e.g. Maureen Nkando, Margaret Zimba, etc. Consent gender advocate. Before we continue reading this, you see, you are a gift and, like somebody said, a fountain of wisdom and knowledge to this nation. He's brought an important issue about those old veteran women, the gender. What would you say?
We've got a group of veterans.
You do?
Yes. The people there like Ekaristo, there's Doreen, there's Margaret Chimanse, there's Tutsi in England. There's Chavala. I think Chibambe.
But this Caristo, Margaret, and I remember that you were director of programs
yes, I was
when they were
director
there.
of programs, but you're amazing colleagues. You see, with me is even people are junior to me. They're my colleagues, because I also learn a lot from them. A person like Doreen, who I've known for a very long time, she does a program on my radio station. She does.
Is she in the country?
Yes, she does breakfast show. Every Friday, in the morning, from 6 to 9. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, especially that we are fewer now. In fact, I was talking to them before I came, on the set. I think I was talking to Margaret, and I sent her a note to my colleagues, the veterans on our group. Yes, that we need. These are challenging times. We need to start praying for each other. We need to start checking on each other. I'm very close to Doreen. She does that most of the time.
And the people you have mentioned, I must say, even when they were reading the news, reporting, and there was fairness.
They were fantastic. And you must know what you're good at. I could read the news, but I knew that I'm not tailor-made for this. I'm a good producer. I'm a good interviewer. It's very, very important in life. If you see these days, you find a young person who's just joined broadcasting 6 months, 9 months, they're reading the news. No, reading the news, that's your pinnacle. It takes you a long time. When I joined ZNBC as a continuity announcer, I was reading the continuity messages behind a camera card for 6 months.
Really?
Yes.
Before you could appear?
Before I could appear. And when I appeared, Pastor, 4 minutes, my jacket was wet, sweating.
That's a good one.
Yeah, over the years, you become, experienced.
It's that kind of training and values, Mr. Mutubila, that I miss in your industry.
Yeah.
Really, my wife and I we've got this phrase that we have seen the best because we watched you people when we were young. Mine's childhood.
We were fantastic, and
George Mwampatisha.
Yes, we were friends.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we competed. I mean, we big time. You wanted out to do each other, but at the same time, we were friends. The competition was good for the profession. The competition was good for the station, and we ended up doing amazing programs. Almost all of us had very competitive programs. Yeah, it's not there these days. It's not.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Jehovah. Hello, good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Mario.
Who?
Mario Binwa.
Binwa Moyo. Please go ahead and contribute to the nation.
I thank you, Papa. Papa, I'm very, very good. Thank you, Kenya. While I'm saying so, Papa,
Binwa, the line is not clear. For the sake of the viewers out there, can you drop the line and call us? Maybe it's not so clear. Okay, we've got few minutes in the studio. Please give us some text messages. I'll ask Ambassador Mutubila to say something. Tomorrow, inform somebody on Facebook, YouTube, whatever you can. Tell them that the legend, Ambassador Frank Mutubila, will be on Camnet tomorrow, Tuesday, at 20:45. Don't miss this show. Frank on Camnet. Give us the text messages, Mr. Director. Thanks be to God, having such a great man continue in it. God bless you. Owen Kasuva in Chingola. Evening, good to see you, Mr. Frank Mutubira. I just want to find out, where is Mumba Kapumba?
Brother K, he's around. You know, we came back more or less at the same time from, he was ambassador in Korea.
Oh, he was ambassador
in South Korea. You know, he's gone back, I think, to his profession.
As a lawyer.
As a lawyer. And he's an amazing man of God now. Amazing man of God. And yeah, you know, I'm very happy for Brother Ken.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was a good question. And, well, Ambassador, say something to your fans, to the viewers, about tomorrow, about the future. I believe that my wife are forever grateful to you, because we know where we are going with Cabinet, and we believe that your coming in this station, it's not an accident. You are looking at it from the Christian point of view, but I'm so delighted because of what God is going to do for this media.
Yeah. First of all, let me thank, you know, people who have contributed to what I am today. Of course, I mentioned Charles Muyamwa, who employed me, and all my colleagues. ZNBC for giving me the first break. BBC, Radio Deutsche Welle, Radio Phoenix, Hot FM, Diamond TV. I've been all over. You know, now my radio station,
Capital FM.
Capital FM 99.7. You know, great, you know, station. The people I work with at Capital FM, my partners, my family, my three amazing children, Mwamba, and Mwanga. My sister Daisy.
And your grandchildren.
And my grandchildren. I think they're about 6 now, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and there are more and more coming. My sister Daisy, my sister Anne in England, my many cousins and my nieces, too numerous to mention. I want to thank Miracle Life. And first, let me thank my ex-wives. You know, I mean, okay, we're divorced now, but, you know, they were part of my life, you know, also for a long time. I'd like to thank in Miracle Life. When I was down, they really picked me up. You know, they taught me how to walk again. And I would like to thank Miracle Life. All my friends, so many people I've forgotten, you know, to mention before I finish. You, Pastor, and your wife, to give me this opportunity. And of course, God. You know, without God, I'm really nothing. Of course, my parents.
Absolutely.
My late, parents, my nephews, you know, everybody who's been a part of my life. There are many, they know where they are. As for the program, you know, like I have mentioned, Camnet is going to be the voice for the voiceless. You know, we're going to bring issues that are not biased, not very hard politics, a lot of governance, you know, issues, and diverse, you know, guests. Tomorrow, I deliberately picked on a lady. She's got Christian background, Chishala Kateka. She's the president of New Heritage Party. I did that because this is Women's Month, and I'm going to interview Chishala Kateka, you know, tomorrow. I'm looking forward into that. Those of you who have got questions, obviously you will participate. I think it's important that we interact with our viewers so that we can cover as much ground as possible. To God again, thank you very much for ensuring that I'm still healthy and I'm still relevant, you know, to the people of this country and to this amazing, you know, in the country. And I hope God, you know, and all will unite us, and I hope all of us will focus on God. You know, they say In football, eyes on the ball, but this time it's eyes on God. I repeat, Pastor, on this program, I'll do my very best, and God will do the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have my blessings. You have my wife's blessings. You have the blessings of the government.
Yeah.
I am sure that every Zambian is coming to know that Camnet TV is not just another channel. It's got Christian values in it, and we've got to give Zambia and the world the best. I'm so thankful for tonight and for giving me the privilege to interview you as the 6th interviewer.
I'm delighted.
May God bless you. And Camnet TV, there you have it. I was privileged to interview Ambassador Frank Mutubila. Tomorrow is all yours. Beginning tomorrow, every Tuesday, invite somebody, and I want you to know it will get better. Keep watching Camnet TV, and remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Shalom, shalom. See you.